Hey traders, Raghee here, and what we're going to do is talk about the one oddball laggard in the market right now, and that's the NASDAQ. So what do you do when you have an environment of four major indices, three if you want to just consider the Dow, S&P, and NAS, throw the Russell in there. But you've got four of these major indices, and the NASDAQ is the only one that has not organized or reorganized, would be a better way to put it, into an uptrend again. And so what we do, and this is for going forward, let's say the S&P goes back into chop or the Dow goes back into chop. What would we do? Well, we're going to go through the process I'm going to walk you through right now in the NASDAQ. And that is to ask yourself, and if you're a futures trader, this is really something you need to accept. You're a stock trader if you're focusing on the futures indices. You're trading a group of stocks that are bundled together, given some nice leverage, and they're called the NASDAQ futures. Because if you open that up, what you really have are sectors and stocks. And so the more you treat this market for what it really is, which is sectors and stocks, the better you're going to be able to handle it. And right now, the best way to handle it is to acknowledge the makeup of it and say, well, if the NAS itself is not in an uptrend, what is? What are the outperforming parts of it? And the best two have continued to be the SMH and now the XLC, so semiconductors and the communications. So ultimately, what you want to do is think about pullback buys in XLC and pullback buys in SMH. But that's at the sector level. So now we've gone from index to sector. Now, mind you, I do want to make sure that the priority would be those double greens. The priority would be looking for ways to get long the S&P, the Dow, the Russell. But if you want to engage the NASDAQ, the best way to sidestep the uncertainty and the lack of a reorganization into the uptrend is find the best performing sectors within it. Well, then that takes us to the next step, and we're going to do that more in the premium video, and that is, well, clearly, if I like the bullishness in the Dow, I can play the IYT. If I like the bullishness in the S&P, I can also additionally play the, for example, XLF. I mean, these are double green sectors heavily weighted within each one of those respective indices. But I think what gets a lot of traders in trouble is that they'll start looking at the NASDAQ, not acknowledge, or whatever the laggard sector is, and treat it like it's behaving like the others. When in reality, that'll probably get you into trouble, and you're better off saying, well, let's see what's going on within that XLC. And even more granularly, if you can't get the pullback on the broader sector, what's going on in terms of individual stocks? Where can I look for long positions that are related to the NASDAQ futures trade, what are better versions in many ways of that trade? So that's what I would really want to point out as we go into next week, which is going to be a holiday affected week. And as we go into the holiday affected part of this year, looking for your outperformers, putting the best names, the best sectors, the best clarity on your watch list, and let that be your primary. Not concerned about how you're going to trade a symbol that you may want to trade, but the precursor to that is, why do I want to trade it? And this is the why. Hope that helps. I'll see you in the next update.